Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Underdog Reacts and Reviews, and I watched the movie Assault on Wall Street. Yes. We had some familiar faces in this movie. We had as main character Dominic Purcell playing Jim Baxford. I recognize him from DC's Hero. What was it? DC's Legends of Tomorrow from Netflix. He played one of the two characters in there. His partner in crime in that series was that other guy. Because they both also played in Prison Break, I think. The show. And both of those guys, I've never watched the show, when I watched, the DC show, I was in school and my classmates did watch, or were currently watching, Prison Break or something like that, I think. But he's not the only familiar face. We had John Hurt. Wait. Related to? Or not? Sorry. Well, we have John Hurt, and I see here was best known for his role of Peter McAllister in the first two Home Alone films. We've watched Home Alone on the channel, so go watch the whole franchise. He also played in White Chicks, which we also watched on the channel. So yeah, this is not an unfamiliar face. We had also Keith David, who I also recognize from some movies that I can't think of right now, but let's see. Armageddon, come on, we just watched Armageddon. The Thing, there's something about Mary. Oh, that's such a good movie. Platoon, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and more. I'm not gonna watch all his roles. We had Lachlan Monroe. I know him as Greg from Scary Movie, and we've seen him also in some other movies on the. We've seen him also on the channel in some other movies. I might recognize Eric Roberts. Yeah, I think I've seen him in something. No, Runaway Train. Maybe a Runaway Train. I don't know for certain if I've seen that one. Dark Knight. Expendables, Dark Knight. There we go. We've seen both movies on the channel. We've seen the whole DC franchise on the channel, so check them one out. We've also seen the whole Marvel franchise on the channel, except for the newest Spider-Man. That one will come in a couple of months, so if you want to see that one, stick around. We have seen the newest Supergirl, so we are finished with DC so far. Okay, I recognize him then from the Dark Knight and the Expendables. Well, he didn't have a big role. He was in a Really? Well, he was in a small scene as a lawyer, but Clint Howard was in the movie? We've just seen him in The Ice Cream Man, or in Ice Cream Man. But he was in this movie? I did not recognize him at all. Or I just... Yeah, I probably didn't recognize him then. Because he does have a name, Chuck. But I can't remember Chuck. Maybe it was a small role, it's possible. But I had no clue that he was in the movie. Huh. But he has such a recognizable face. So it's weird that I didn't recognize him. Huh. But let's just first start with the movie Assault on Wall Street. We hear different news stories, well, news anchors actually. Every time we hear that it's like a radio, it's going to a different channel, or when you're just zapping. We now see the city, and we get some different shots of that. We're now in the office, and we see two guys sitting, one guy standing, and a woman that's probably the assistant that just leaving the room. The standing guy, played by John Hurt, Jeremy, he says something, and the one of the two who's sitting, he responds to that, and Jeremy responds to that. We got a bit of a back and forth, while the camera also went, to whoever is talking, the camera went to that person. So we didn't have any off-screen talking in that scene, I think. Well, not when I was writing everything down. Most of it down. The third guy who started to chime in, and it became a whole discussion between those two and Jeremy, and eventually Jeremy won, which was not a good thing. Well, I would say won, but he ended it. But I'm also gonna leave that, because if you want to know super likes, watch the movie yourself. Well, Jim had it very, very bad in this movie. He had an investment, and Lachlan Monroe, played Robert. Robert was his broker, and he lost his whole investment. All his savings gone. While his wife was sick and she needed her hormone treatments, so she had to spend $300 a week to get an injection, an hormone injection, and on top of that, she also needed some medicine, that goes with, that treatment, So it was more than $300 every week. That's expensive, and that's also how they went broke. Well, due to due to the loss of investment and her treatment, which she can't do anything about. She had a tumor and the tumor was removed, but her body still reacts like the tumor is still there. So that's why the treatment. So she can't do anything about it, but she blames herself. She says, "Oh, it's my fault." You know, um, and I called it out, already, before she did it, but obviously they can't hear me, but I said, "Well, you better don't kill yourself." But she did anyway. Well, Jim was, on his way back home. She, wrote a note from, hold on to this, or something like that. Um, and place a wedding ring, on the note block, with scribbles on it. Then she went upstairs, got in bed, and it went on nice, laying under the blankets. And then he came home. And Rosie, she saw the note, went upstairs. Rosie, and then uncovered her, and he immediately jumped back from the shock of seeing the blood. And also called the police. Called 911. And holding her hand. He lost everything. So, like the title says, he went in assault mode. And he got away with it. Because they all, the last part, they all, he made it look like, that Jeremy did it. Because, he was sitting in Jeremy's chair. Jeremy was holding the gun, which was empty. And then the SWAT came in. And, he jumped down, and Jeremy was shot. So, he got away with murder. It was definitely a sad movie. But it was a good movie. So this movie definitely deserves a 4 out of 5. Go watch the movie yourself, leave likes, recommend good. Though, to be honest, I expected more. Because with the title, Assault on Wall Street, I expected a bit more early in the movie to have more violence, but we didn't really have that. Well, one part when where Jimmy confronted a guy that he had left a message 20 times with, the guy that was his business, I think, was where he invested in or something like that. I don't know for sure. But they had the kind of a scuffle, and I think he pushed him off him. He stepped back into traffic and hit by a taxi. Dead. So that was the only part that we had a bit of action earlier on in the movie. But overall, I expected a bit more action, with a name like Assault on Wall Street. I just hoped that he was, but too bad. still doesn't make it a bad movie. It's a good movie. So, like I said, go watch the movie yourself. Yeah, just recommend a good action movie. Down below in the comment section, subscribe to your channel. Check out my second channel, Underdog Eats, where I do food drinks every week. You get twice a week foods, twice a week drinks, once every 3 weeks, or every 4 weeks, something like that. Alcohol, and from time to time hot sauce. I have to empty the bottle. Yeah, finish the bottle first, not empty it. Finish the bottle first. Before I can do another hot sauce video. So but I have also a third channel, Underdog Reacts, where I do primarily music. Link down below in the description. And see you guys next time. Bye.